Hello, our friends, Heart's Home Patreon family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So, we were just going to do some yard work after doing our work this morning and before working on clients. And so, Cindy was doing a lot of standing and mantras. And then she just told me, oh, by the way, Vishnu came through. Like, okay. Hang on, don't lose this. Let's share this, even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes. It's still very important when the creator of the universe comes through.
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna be emotional too, because that's just the nature of it, and it's not something that I can help. So, I guess it's a secondary channeling because I already channeled it, and went through everything. Vishnu had to say through my consciousness and my understanding to convey to people, whoever needs to hear it might find it helpful. This is what it is for, but I thought it was very curious. And there's going to be unanswered questions. There's going to be like voids. There's going to be blocks in the channeling because I'm not ready to channel everything yet. And there's a reason for that. That has great purpose. There's reasons why I'm not given everything right now. And that's just a lesson that I've been learning lately. But he was talking about Tiamat and talking about Earth and the destruction of Tiamat and the creation of Earth and the Bible and the stories of creation. So he said there's a lot of stories in the books that we are given, but we're really just not given the whole story. We are given parts of the story. And right now in this darker age, I'm not going to say it's the darkest because it's not the darkest, but it is a dark age. We're still being controlled through these books, but there's information in there that can be helpful to us. But he said, yes, there are two creation stories, one being of Tiamat being destroyed, one being of Earth. Now, how that comes to be, I have not channeled that yet. That's a lot of information to cover in like one sentence. So there is no way I'm going to be able to fill in the blanks for you, just telling you what he said. So I feel in the future, I'll definitely be given more of that information. And it's hard for me to channel on, in the microphone, just talking to you guys too, because I have my own issues, my own throat chakra, my own heart chakra issues. So I tend to hold back, not deliberately when I'm being recorded, but out of my own trauma, I hold back unknowingly. And that's something that I'm definitely working on.
Well, we've gotten a lot of information from channeling throughout the years. So, we do know that it was shared also that the Galactic Federation took part in the recreation. And this was also the timeline when many of the gods and goddesses that some are still to this day so highly revered and worshipped per se. Again, these beings do not necessarily want worship, but they are open to you asking for help and guidance. And so what you have is a control system that's in place that demands worship. And so that's been transplanted, this is again what I have gotten, onto all these beings. But, ask and you shall receive is a golden rule because, again, they don't want to interfere with our human experience. And when I say they, I mean the devas and the higher, more angelic beings don't want to interfere with our experience because, we're here for a reason. And mostly it's to learn and grow, really, when it boils down to it. So they don't want to interfere with that. At the same time, we have distortion from the control system that's been in place and been very, very powerful in shaping the way that humanity looks at its history, which, you broke that down, his story, control system story, and trying to sift through and say what is real, because again, there are nuggets of truth in there. So any new information, we understand the Galactic Federation was of prime importance in stepping forward to help to terraform and bring life back into the earth after the destruction of Tiamat, which we got before previously was the result of the draconian control system and their expansionist wars.
Mm-hmm. Well, this information is for those who are going to feel it. This is more of a feeling type of information. It is for expansion. It is for understanding. He was also bringing forward other entities that are in our storybooks, such as Krishna, Lakshmi, Sarasvati, these other beings who are big parts of our history and in our storybooks. However, he wanted to convey that the consciousness that they carried with them in their time of being here and shaping the planet is a consciousness that we are not able to encompass right now. So any information that we get should come through that understanding of that. If you understand that, just understand that these beings carried such a dense amount of consciousness and understanding about how the world works. And we don't have that, but we can tap into that because we are all part of that. So as the energies come through the filters and the filters continue to filter out energies, we are left with our human bodies that we have now. And basically, like small children, simply doing our best, but still universal law comes into place where everything is spiraling through duality, and duality must play its part. And as hard as things might seem, so often understand that is so important for your expansion. And it is a universal law. We are going to go through it. It is how the world expands. It is how consciousness expands through the light and through the dark. And one thing he said that I really feel he wants me to convey, and this is where I'm just trying to hold my energy. I'll just hold it steady. Through the pain to get you to move, to get you to grow. Right now, you might be running from pain to get you to move, to get you to grow. It's all about just get me away from that pain. But at some point, you reach like this level ground where you stop running from the pain and you start to move toward the love of source. So that is what now pulls you or propels you, is knowing that love is out there. So there is a change, but there must be duality. And believe me, I understand the pain of trauma. I do. But it's for the love of the all. So I hope I conveyed that right.
Yes, of course, sweetie. We are like toddlers coming out of a dark age and being thrown into a time and place that's going to probably make our heads spin because of the rapid changes and rapid growth. Yet you have within you already a lot of knowledge and understanding, and we can tap into that in many ways through our DNA. Even though it's been turned off, we could flick the switches right back on. It's like somebody's come up to the circuit breakers and flick the power off everywhere, and we have to go back in and flick those switches back on. And we will. Those that choose this path of awakening to the bigger picture, those that realize so much of the darkness is something that really is a learning experience, but it's up to the individual to go and to flick the switch back on. That's your choice when you're ready to go ahead and face what's in that darkness, because that's really what this is all about, is facing. Often it's facing in others what we see reflected in ourselves, and it's overcoming that. So we know what we don't want to be, we know what we don't want to emulate, and that's the system and the way the system operates that we have found ourselves in. Yes, maybe decades ago, for those that are old enough to remember, there was this semi-bliss of not realizing the depths of the system that we're in. But once you know and understand, you truly can never go back. You can never really reinsert yourself back into that matrix, because now you know. So now it's more finding that to grab onto that's going to help pull us up to the higher levels, almost as if we're climbing the ladder of consciousness. And right now you might find that there's like 3 rungs that are missing. It's going to be quite a stretch, but you have it within you to pull yourself up.
Mm-hmm. You know what he's showing me throughout this video is like this really beautiful waterfall and a pond. Just try to imagine a waterfall and a pond on some beautiful deserted island, and what he's conveying is that there will be peace. Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah, I was going to use that for the next music video.
That's funny. He's conveying that there will be a time of peace, and I think that's what he wants people to hold on to. And also, when it comes to Vishnu, there are other names of the creator. This is the best understanding I have through the stories that we have. This name is the creator that we know and we understand, and that I channel and my consciousness channels. So he might be known by other names. But this is so important. This is so important. If you're not looking at the screen, please look at the screen. Look at this pond. Look at the waterfall, and understand that there's a time of peace that is coming up. And maybe this is the whole point of the channeling this morning, is to let people know that it is coming. It's not always going to be difficult. It's not always going to be a challenge. You're not always going to be running. You're going to find yourself on a beautiful plateau that you can stay for a while, or at least until you're rested, and then you can move on further. But you have more, when it comes to moving on and moving forward, you will have more control of that.
So I hope this resonates again. We are in challenging times, to be sure, but these are also the times that are going to give us the most opportunity for growth and expansion. While we might not be able to control every circumstance that comes our way, we can absolutely control our reaction to that circumstance.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope everybody got something out of this. Source bless and namaste.
Source bless. Namaste.